Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Devon Jackson, undefeated flyweight, who will be fighting on May 7th on Fury FC 79. Hey, Devon, how are you?
How's it going?
Uh, Devon, please tell me about your next fight because it seems to be a pretty challenge. You will be fighting Nick Piccinini, who is also undefeated. So please tell me, what do you think about this fight and what's probably next after this?
I'm really looking forward to this fight. It should help me get to that next level, make that next jump. I've been waiting for a next opponent. It seems like nobody wants to fight me. It's like they call me the boogeyman. I'm scaring everybody away. Uh, no, I just bring a lot of talent to the division, and I'm just trying to make it to that next level.
And what do you think will be after this fight? If you win, you will be fighting maybe against the Fury FC champion.
They ain't never even offered me that fight. I already beat the champion. I already got a win over the champ, so it don't really matter to me. I'll fight anybody. If not
Yes,
that, then maybe the contender series.
yes, it's quite interesting because you won against Joshua Van in your first professional fight. So it's interesting because he seems to be a really big prospect, and you beat him in your debut.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get another fight offer with that. He tried to say I did. I didn't. Kid came up to me after like my second fight or so, said congrats, and was like said we would want to run it back, but I never got no word from the manager or from the matchmaker. So it is what it is. I just take it one step at a time. I like to fight new people, some new faces, but as you've seen, they gave him the title shot. So like, hey, I don't have no control of that, but I know what really happened. So I've already beat the champ, so I don't really got nothing to prove. You can talk to talk, but I already showed my work.
And what do you think about your next fight? How it gonna end? It will be decision, maybe finish.
Oh, I don't ever want to go to a decision. I try to get out of there in the first or second round. As you've seen, the last three fights, I haven't made it out the second. So if you can make it out the second, I guess you may have a chance. But I come with that relentless pressure, so I continue. I strive to continue to do so.
And I think that overall you are a quite interesting fighter because you have three professional fights. All of them are in the Fury FC, so it's a like big promotion in the US. You won your fight against Joshua Van, who is also really close to being signed in the UFC, and you have an amateur fight against Jalen Bates, who is like really big star in Bellator. So maybe you have only three professional fight, but you are a very experienced fighter.
Yeah, for sure. Shoot, I try to fight the best of the best. I try to turn down no fights. As soon as it's in the contract my way, I'm always down. If you can make the weight, then hey, let's run it because the better man's gonna win on the day. Yeah, I remember that fight with Jalen. That was like the ending of my amateur career, and I went up to his weight class. So that fight probably would have been a little bit different if he would have came down to 125. But I accepted the challenge. It is what it is. We had a great fight, and as you see, he continued to do well in his MMA career. So all success to him.
And let's talk about your beginning in the sport. What was a first discipline that you ever train?
I came from a wrestling background, and then I transitioned into a little bit of kickboxing. And instead of just sticking with kickboxing, started doing a little bit more Muay Thai. Muay Thai has a little bit more elbows and knees, and then of course with the grappling game of submissions, I had to add in the Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. So
And where do you currently train?
I currently train in Tri Cities, Washington. I train at a gym called Mercenary Combat Academy. Uh, I don't think it's exactly where you train. I think it's that you surround yourself with good training partners and have a comfortable relationship with your coach. And so I've kind of found that. I've cross-trained a lot. I've got to train with a lot of great athletes. But at the end of the day, if you're not putting in the work, then how is anyone supposed to feel confident going into the cage, going to feel like they're going to handle business? So at the moment, my regiment works. So until then, if it ain't broke, nothing needs to be fixed.
And do you see yourself after you will end your career as the MMA coach?
When I retire, I end up coaching. I coach right now. I coach little guy all the way to high school level. I've been offered to go coach at the college level. As much as I like coaching, I try not to get too involved with full-fledged coaching because it's hard to do both. It is a balance. So I try to do just enough so then I can continue to still be the athlete that I want to be up until that time comes where I got to be a full-time coach. But
yes, and you probably have a few really good years in MMA, so it's also good to be focused on yourself in this case.
Yeah, when it's all said and done, what I would like to do is open my own gym, my own school. But it'd be hard to do that with also trying to be one of the best in the world. So that's something that's foresight in the future. But right now, full-fledged focus as being the best I could be when I walk into the cage.
And how many fights do you want to have in this year?
By the end of this year, I would like to have 5. We're kind of getting a late start, but usually I don't walk out of the cage with too much injuries. So if I can, I'd book another fight within the next month or so. So I try to stay active. It's not really into my control. Like my last fight, when I slept the guy, I'd already asked the promoter, like, hey, yo, when's the next fight? Like, run it. So like if I don't come out of the cage with damage, then I'm ready to go.
And if the Contender Series option would show up later in this year, would you be interested?
Oh, for sure. I stay ready.
Overall in MMA, the flyweights have, let's say, the not the best position because they are fighting in the UFC, but Bellator didn't have flyweight division. Also, the PFL doesn't have it. So for flyweights, it's a little bit harder to go to the major promotion.
It's a little bit different task. When I first started, as you've seen, I fought a little bit at 135. I just don't see myself suit for that weight class. It's not that I can't win some fights at that weight class. It's just you're at a little bit of disadvantage because now I've already met people that are like 6 foot at 125. And you're talking about the leverage. When you got somebody who can use their leverage statistically and against power, leverage wins. So it's not that I can't see myself not fighting at 135. It's just not a preference. But if push comes to shove, and that's what I need to do, then I'll make that next step. But I full-heartedly believe that I can make an impact coming into the 125 division. So until then, I guess we'll see.
And do you have any fighter from regional promotion that you would like to fight?
Like at the next level or currently?
No, currently.
No, I seek anybody who's a champ who thinks you're the best of the best. Hey, I'm down. I'll sign the dotted line. Getting my paperwork to go be able to fight in California. So that's on the agenda. Possibly get some fights over in California, maybe on Uriah Favors card. See Uriah Favors or Mazadov MMA promotion's going pretty good, so might consider jumping on that. But trying to keep myself active until I make that next step, whether it be on the Contender Series or I just get the call up in general. But taking it one fight at a time, trying to continue to keep that undefeated record. So that's all one can do.
Yes, and A1 Combat, the Uriah Faber promotion, has a lot of really good flyweights. So I think that you would be perfect fit for this organization.
Yes, sir.
And as far as a dream fight with a UFC fighter, if you can fight anyone in the UFC from flyweight division or bantamweight division, who would you like to fight?
I'd like to fight Brandon Moreno. I'd also fight the current champ, Devon, I think his name is. I forgot how to pronounce his last name.
Davison Figueredo.
Yeah, yeah, him. So I'd be game to fight him too. Shoot, I believe I got the hands to hang. As you see, the flyweight's not as much as grappling. If you can control the grappling game, you can go really, really far. But you got to have well balanced. And so, what I've been working on, as you guys have all seen, I do got the hands. They try to out me out, saying that I only know wrestling. It's not true. So, hey, y'all find out. Mess around and find out.
And I think that the flyweight division is right now, maybe except the bantamweight division, one of the most interesting divisions in the sport, because a lot of things happen and level of the skills of the fighters. And how do you think right now your style would meet like fighters like Pantoja, Brandon Royval, who fought yesterday, like top 5 fighters?
I think my fight style matches up pretty good because I come with the pressure. I can counter strike, but I like I said, I bring a well-rounded game. If I need to, I'm able to execute and get to my takedowns because I'm a high-level grappler. But I'm a pressure fighter, so I'm always keeping you on your toes. And if you can't survive the deep water, then hey, you're in for a fight.
And what motivates you to work hard in MMA? Because at first you wrestle, then you are training MMA. So I think that you need some motivation to do such hard things.
Motivation. I motivate and elevate the people that are around me. I'm trying to inspire, try to put my city on. Moved out here from Texas. Got people that I knew here from when I was like little, and I'm just trying to motivate and elevate the next generation as I coach the kids. Trying to lead by example. Believe that you can do anything, and with stacking the work every day, staying dedicated. Some days are better than others, but if you continue to work at the craft, you can become good at anything, and possibly even great if you put your mind to it. So, I got a friend that got me in to this MMA world. I took it full fledged, and now we're here today, where I'm 3-0 as a professional. So, doing great things.
And what do you think is the most important thing to succeed in MMA?
The most important thing I think the most important thing is to just be confident. Be confident and trust in your work. I think if you're confident and trust in your work, there's not everything else does the rest. There's nothing to be scared about because you've stacked the work. Now, if you haven't put in the work, then obviously that confidence isn't going to come. So I think that's the most important element is that to be accountable and make sure that you're putting in the work every day and trying to get out of your comfort zone. I think a lot of people want to stay complacent and they want instant gratification. So I think everybody should just trust the process.
And I think that fans can see confidence in your fights because you are not backing up. You push forward. Okay.
Yeah, this is
okay.
It's entertainment at the end of the day. So yeah, I try to come with pressure. A lot of wrestlers get the rap that they're just gonna take somebody down and hold them. No, I like to hit people. Okay, if I wanted to be in a grappling match, I would have just stuck with continue doing wrestling, or I would have done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I like to strike, so even if I do take you down, I'm trying to land some heavy strikes. So,
and
I think that
what
happen?
What is like right now your main goal in your career as far as MMA? Do you want to fight in the UFC, be in the rankings, be a champion?
I want to be one of the best in the world. I look up to Demetrius Johnson. I think he's made a big impact in the MMA world. I think we kind of got similar paths. He didn't get a lot of recognition when he started, even kind of now. But as everybody's seen, his light has shined, and he is kind of the GOAT of MMA. There are a couple other people that fit that category, but he's fought outside of his weight class. Even currently, for 135, he walks around at his weight class with no hesitation. Like, yo, I'll take on the best of the best and handle business. So that's why he's retains the title as the world champ of flyweight. So if I could try to match that type of accolade, that'd be great. But I'm gonna continue to try to be the best that I can be and continue to grind. So, but I would want to be one of the best in the world. and I see myself holding a UFC belt or one championship belt around my waist one of these days.
And about DJ, I think that he sometimes was really underappreciated by fans, by the UFC. But when I'm talking to fighters, everybody respect him as and consider him like top 3 fighters ever. And I definitely agree with this.
No, for sure. And that's why I try to tell people not to get caught up in like all the extra stuff. It's entertainment at the end of the day. So yeah, you got to be a crowd pleaser. You got to get back to your fans, but you also got to stay true to yourself. I think DJ did a good example of that. Let his work do the talking, made the right business moves, and overall has still came out on top. Like you said, when you talk to other people, people still put him at the top of that list of being the GOAT. So I think if you continue to trust in the process, there's light at the end of the tunnel. So just got to keep tacking.
And outside of fighting, what do you like to do in your free time? Let's say that you are after the fight.
After the fight, I like to go eat some good food. I'm a foodie. Actually, to kind of do a little bit of reviews. Probably need to do a little bit more on my YouTube. But I like to go eat good food. I like to go find different entertainments depending on the city that I'm in. I have a brand called Life is Memories, so I try to make as many memories in the city that I'm in. Go check out the hot spots, capture the moment, and just kind of enjoy the time that we have on this earth. So, going to the gym, entertainment, go-karts, paintballing, coaching, visiting other gyms, and networking with other business owners, continuing trying to elevate to the next level. So always doing all types of stuff outside of the fight game.
And how do you deal with the stress before your fights?
Stress. I guess everybody has a little bit of butterflies and whatnot, but I think that's a good feeling. It's how you internalize that. I don't really get nervous because, like I said, I have the mindset that I trust in my work. Now, if I didn't have the best fight camp and I was slacking off, then yeah, I would probably be feeling some type of way. But there's always a game plan. I think there's always a way to find a way to win within every fight. So I try to just meditate, take a couple deep breaths before I step in the cage, and then let it happen, because you can't plan. With MMA fight, anything comes from all different ways. So you just try to stay composed and stay alert.
Yes, anything can happen. If you can choose one.
Did you see yesterday's fight with Barbosa? I don't think everybody's seen that knee come straight up the middle. That fight ended, changed real quick.
Yes, and that's on Barbosa is like also one of fan favorites because of his style. And going back to the MMA, because I think that is quite interesting question. If you can choose any skill from any fighter in the world, what kind of skill would you choose?
As far as like mixed martial arts?
Yes.
I would think, it's a cross between wrestling and Muay Thai. Because some of the Muay Thai fighters are just some of the toughest son of a guns you'll ever meet. But like wrestling, anybody who's done the sport of wrestling will tell you it's one of the hardest sports you've ever done in your life. So from like a striking basis, I would say Muay Thai, because I've met a lot of people that are just tough, and anybody who's experienced that, who's went out of town out of the country to Thailand, like Tiger Muay Thai, they always come back a more experienced fighter, changed. And then obviously when you get a fighter that's never done wrestling transition into a practice, it's like an eye opener. They're like, man, I've never done something so hard in my life. So I think the combination of those two, I like the other aspects of mixed martial arts, like karate and other things like that, because there's things you can take from it. But if you're talking about attributes upon what's going to be the best of the best, I like Muay Thai and wrestling, personally.
Yes, and like you said, from any style, something can take something, because as far as karate, we have Lyoto Machida, we had him, Steven Thompson. So there are this kind of style, maybe sometimes underappreciated, but when you are great in this, you can be a world champion.
Oh, for sure. Shoot, Wonder Boy put on a good display of his karate. What capoeira? If I could do that, I definitely would. I'm trying. I'm trying to learn that little bit of style. But like all the little gyros and etc. I got some friends that can break dance. I'm trying. Maybe stay tuned. You might implement it into a fight.
And if you can learn one skill outside of fighting, any skill in the world, what would you choose? In what would you be interested in learning?
Capoeira, for sure. I think that's a very unique dance fight style. Because it's entertaining to anybody. You see somebody moving like that, you're like, man, like how? They got some pretty cool tricks. So yeah, capoeira would be a cool skill to learn. That'd make me a well-rounded fighter all the way. Because then I could come out with any type of attack at that point in time.
Yes, and if you can dance in MMA, it's like you will be unbeatable.
But it would be really entertaining at the same time. So I think that'd be a crowd pleaser.
So overall, what would be a perfect scenario for you? Because you have a really big challenge in May. So like finish quickly your opponent and fight like next month.
Oh, that's the plan. I always joke about with my coach, but I'm really have a belief upon your affirmations. Like my last fight, a lot of people that were around me, I was always striving for a knockout, and I just couldn't get it. And I was training at practice, and I was working on my slips, and I kept trying to land that right hit where they're like coming into you, so it snaps. And I was talking about everywhere I was going. I was like, man, I'm gonna knock this guy out. I'm gonna knock this guy out. Boom, slapped the dude in a minute. I think I only threw about 6 punches in the whole entire fight. And so this fight might not be my hands that does it. Might be a knee, might be a kick, but I can see myself again possibly getting a first round sleeper. If not, you'll see a relentless ground pressure where I'm ground and pounding them, and the ref's gonna have to pull me off because it's one of the two's gonna happen. But as far as going to the decision, yeah, I don't think that's on the agenda.
Yes, you are not much of the decision fighter.
No, I don't like going to the refs. That was like it takes me back to memories when I fought Jalen Bates. That was such a breaking fight for me. It changed the fighter that I am, because I had the aspect where the crowd and the judges aren't in my favor. I'm down a couple rounds. You don't know what's really going on. You know, if you possibly go to the scorecards because it's not your hometown, that you could lose. So you're like, you change, you just let loose. And that's what I did in the fight. And so I earned the respect, but I had to give myself the chance. I didn't want to go to the judges, so I ended up getting caught in a choke. I think it was entertaining for the crowd to somebody get a finish. But I learned that if I would have put my foot on the gas pedal a little bit earlier, that fight probably would have went a little bit different. And since then, yeah, I've always brought a relentless pressure, because if you can't survive the first couple rounds, I don't even have to worry about that scenario.
Okay, Devon, so good luck in your fight. I hope that you will win this and we can see you either in the Fury FC or maybe Contender Series or even in the UFC, because I think that your style would be really interesting to see with some of the current fighters in the UFC.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Appreciate your time, boss.